Happy Sunday, everybody. Today is Sunday, and I am ready to get to this discussion. And what I wanted to talk about today is if I could go back in time, what would I tell my younger self? Ooh, child, I would tell that girl a lot that she needed to know because that was one insecure, self doubting, talented young lady. She just didn't know what to do with herself, who she was, and why she thought the way that she thought about herself. Ooh, mm. I would tell her to get a life. Well, no, I'm just joking. So the first thing I would tell, I wrote down some answers, so I'll have them at my head, at the top of my head, so I won't have to search. But the first thing I would do is to tell myself that I love me every single day because that would help build a foundation of love that this younger person needed. This younger person didn't love herself. And she didn't know that she didn't love herself. She looked outside of herself because she didn't love herself. But I would tell my younger self that I loved her every day, and I would look in the mirror and say it until a smile came on my face. I would say I love you, and it wouldn't be for reasons of vanity. It would be for internal reasons because the love you have inside is important. And I would tell my younger self that I loved her every single day. That child needed so much love, so bad I didn't even realize it. So the second thing that I would do is to not spend time on negative thinking. That child was, ooh, Lord have mercy. She didn't realize. You don't, it's not a conscious thing that you do. You know, you're not aware that you're thinking this way about yourself. You just do. You have an unconscious mind and, subconscious mind and a conscious mind. But your subconscious mind is the mind that is getting all the information that you plan into your mind, your thoughts. The seeds that you are planting into your mind go straight into your subconscious mind and is building that belief system that you have about yourself, about life, about people. So all of those negative thoughts don't do anything but prepare your mind to believe a certain thing about you, about life, about people. It is building your belief system. So thinking negatively only builds a belief system that will run the engine that is you. I would not plant seeds of negative. I wouldn't think that I'm not good enough. I wouldn't think that, all the negative thoughts I had about myself, I would get into learning about positive thinking, learning to love myself, learning to just realizing the impact of negative thinking. I would not engage in negative thinking. I would engage in practices of loving myself. That would be the second thing. The third thing is don't look outside of myself for my self-worth. That was the reason why, when you feel bad about yourself, you tend to look elsewhere to fill that void. But it's an inside job. You have an internal world just like you have an external world. You navigate through life in your external world through your five physical senses, through your sight, your hearing, your smelling, your tasting, and your touching. And your internal world, we have six internal higher states of consciousness. I can't call them all off at the top of my head, but I know one is your imagination, the other is your will, uh, your I knew I was going to forget it, but look it up. You have six higher functions of the brain that makes up your internal world. And you have to use those senses to help navigate through this life too, not just your external senses. But I would not look outside of myself for my self-worth, because that's an inside job. You know, this is what get young girls in trouble all the time. They look for a man to provide love for them when it's not that man's job. They look for a boyfriend, a husband, whoever. And men do it too. You know, we all look outside of ourselves for our self-worth, but we have to provide the love for ourselves. A relationship enhances that love, but it's not somebody else's responsibility or their job to love you. That's your responsibility. So I wouldn't look outside myself. I wouldn't go try to fit into this group. I wouldn't go try to make friends who seem interested in me. I wouldn't go try and do all those stupid things that I did when I was younger. Okay, on to the next point. I would tell myself to meditate daily, to be able to go into my inner world. Get yourself in a quiet place. You know, preferably when it's either at nighttime or real early in the morning before the sun comes up, because those are the times when you can get to that place, that internal place, that higher level of consciousness that you don't get to experience when you're conscious, when you're awake. That internal world provides a world of peace and higher consciousness that I can't even explain in the video. But there's a place of peace when you meditate that helps you deal with that external world. When you navigate through this hectic life, your internal world brings that peace that you can't get in that external world. So I would tell my younger self to meditate every day, because I know I meditate. I was meditating every day, but I've been slacking up. I got to get back to doing it because it is such a beautiful, peaceful place. But anyway, meditate every day. I would tell my younger self not to give up when things go so bad, because we tend to get disappointed when we can't achieve the goals that we want to achieve. As an artist, you know, I had highs and lows, ups and downs. I've done art festivals, art exhibits. I had an art gallery. You know, those are things that I did achieve. But the one thing that I wanted to do with my artwork is to make a long-lasting living off of that. And that was the struggle of my life, because I could not consistently make an income where I could live off of my talent. I got disappointed and would have to go and get a job and to help take care of basic human needs. But the one thing I would do is to not get disappointed when that kind of thing happened. That's expected in life. You're going to have hiccups. You're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have obstacles. So just prepare for them and look for the lesson in them. Don't get disappointed and give up. Another thing, I would tell my younger self to sit your butt down and read every day. Oh my God. That is the most important thing for me right now, is to feed my mind. That's my garden. Feed my mind information, because, oh, the more you know, the more you grow. I didn't like reading when I was younger. It's like limiting yourself, stifling yourself, not allowing yourself to flourish. But I would tell my younger self to read every day, because reading brings about a world that it's just hard to explain. It's like just taking in information every day broadens your scope, broadens your mind, broadens your possibilities in life. So to read every day, so that little girl that was stuck with not knowing what to do, that little girl would have found a lot to do because of all the information that she was taking into her mind and reading. So I would tell my younger self to read every single day. I mean, I love it now. And they didn't have audiobooks when I was a little girl, but, you know, find a way to take in information every day. And the last thing I have on my list, but this is not the last thing that I would do or tell my younger self, but this is the last thing I wrote down, Be curious about life and ask questions. When I was growing up, we had an older neighbor across the street, Mr. George. Mr. George was a merchant seaman. Mr. George was in a wheelchair. Mr. George went all over the world. And I used to love going across the street to talk to Mr. George, just to hear his stories, just to hear how his life went. But you know, it's good to live to hear those things, but it's not to just live vicariously through someone else. It's good to explore life and do those things yourself, because this is a huge world. I mean, when you think about how small the area is that you live in your community compared to how big this world is, a lot of times people don't get to go outside that little small box that they live in and explore what life has to offer. Be curious about life. Don't just spend your entire life in that one little box getting the information that you're exposed to just from that area. This world is big. God created this vast world for everyone to enjoy, to explore life, to get all that you can get out of life, to do what you can do, and even contribute to life. You know, we're supposed to serve. This is my belief. You don't have to believe this thing, but I think that we are supposed to help serve others, to take the gift that we were given and find a way to help serve others. You know, with my art, there were lessons, or there were it was a meaning to half the things that I did, even with these t-shirts, why I'm so motivated to do this t-shirt line, because all the wisdom that I've gained in life, I put them on t-shirts, and it's going to be helpful to somebody. Find your power, find your gift, and see how you can navigate through this life with that gift while you're serving others. It's going to be of service to others. But my younger self did not know a whole lot, and she just spent a lot of years in turmoil about her life and how she felt about herself. But thank God I am not that naive, insecure young girl anymore. There is a lot of things that I'll do differently. I encourage young people to not let life pass them by and not do a lot that they want to do, and to always keep yourself at the center of your life. It's not about vanity. It's not about, being selfish. It's about loving yourself, loving who you are, and exploring life. Just to be happy. Live your life. Enjoy your life. So those are the things that I would tell my younger self. I'm sure there are things that I missed, but those are the things that came to my mind when I was thinking about it. And I hope in some way it helped you guys. I hope it resonated with you guys. And if it did, please share it with somebody that you think could use it. Please give this video a like. Please also subscribe to the channel, because this only helps me to continue to do the things that I want to do. If I had continued with this YouTube channel when I started it 12 years ago, who knows what would have happened. I'm not going to get back on the what ifs. I think it was supposed to happen the way that it did. So I'm thankful for me having it and wanting to do, because the old me was a shy person, very insecure, such an introvert, that when my earlier years of my life, people thought I was mute because I didn't talk. You wouldn't believe that now, but anyway, those are the lessons. Those are the things I would tell my younger self. Enjoy the rest of your day and continue to follow my journey.